And now your hosts for this evening, the Rolling Stones.
Trev TV. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed in the last month. I know my lack of content has been questionable at best, but I'm glad you guys have come along. I do intend to make a lot more for the main channel as opposed to the hockey channel, but it's just a matter of the hockey channel takes a lot of time and gets a lot more done, whereas this one is just a nice little side. But either way, look for more stuff to come on this channel. Promise. Anyway, today's topic comes from a video I watched by a guy named Michael Franzese. If you're unfamiliar with who Michael Franzese is, check out his YouTube channel here. And he did this video probably about the last time I put up a video on this channel. And granted, his list and my list will be a little bit different because his list fits his lifestyle right now. My list fits my lifestyle right now, but it's not as religiously based. But the topic is 5 people I'd have genuinely loved to have met in my lifetime, or at least while they were around. Now, some of this might not be not legible. Feasible, I guess is the best word, because you can only time travel so far back. But I'm about to name off 5 influences, past, present, that I would genuinely love to have had just a minute or two with. And granted, I don't necessarily have a huge list of celebrities that I've met. I mean, unless you count Cancer Bats and Gob, but that's Canadian celebrity, and we all know how well Canadian celebrity works. And if you count the 30-second meeting I had with Dave Grohl, and the time I was standing beside Scotty Olsen and didn't even know it was Scotty Olsen until it was told to me, that's my brush with celebrity. So, having said all that, here's 5 people I'd have genuinely loved to have met in no particular order. That guy, Lucky Luciano. How has he influenced my life? Well, in a number of ways. Mostly to think smart, not think impulsively. Why would I have loved to have met him? Well, for a few reasons. One, for him to tell me I'm not Italian enough to get made. That's just the rules. I can only be an associate. I can't be made because I'm not FBI. I'm not full-blooded Italian. So I'd love for him to tell me that. 2, since he did work with anybody. It didn't matter if you were Italian, Jewish, German, Irish, whatever. It didn't matter. If you can make money, you could work. I'd love to have seen how his business model worked, so that maybe, just maybe, the organizer of organized crime and his life lessons could be applied for today. Now granted, that's almost an impossibility thanks to RICO statutes and all that, but never say never. Nothing's impossible. So, maybe it could still be done. Kurt Cobain. Not because it's Kurt Cobain. It has nothing to do with it at all. That is a part of it, but has, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't fit what I'm going for. 1, tell him, hey, thank you for releasing an amazing album that I will go to the oven with in utero. The plan is it's getting burned with me. That way I have something to listen to in the afterlife. 2, because of said album, that's when I decided I wanted to actually learn guitar. My first guitar came when I was 12 years old. In Utero came out 95, when I was No, it's not 95. It's 93. So I was 14. If it weren't for in utero, I'd have never wanted to learn guitar. I had one, but like I said, from 12 to 15, it collected more dust than it collected actually being played. I couldn't tune the thing. I couldn't tell you what the tone knob did. I couldn't tell you where the G string was or the bottom E. None of that. After in utero, after I went to high school and guitar was actually an option that you could take, I took it. And granted, what he was playing was very basic. But at 15 years old, basics was good enough. You didn't need anything more than that. So just to thank him for two sources of inspiration. Not to martyr him, because he's not a martyr. If you want to know my topic on suicide and all that, that'll be a different video. But just to give him a thanks. The late, great Julius Caesar. Why wouldn't you want to meet Caesar? Like, seriously. I mean, if you wanted a good political lesson on how to get shit done, that's your guy. Any guy who can break the law and get away with it and name himself dictator for life and really show no qualms or no fear of repercussion for it. Like, this guy had what we like to call balls, big balls, and he used them well. And any guy who can lay claim to inventing the calendar, like the earliest foundations of the Julian calendar, you gotta admire a guy with that much intelligence to know that, you know, Earth revolves around the sun every 365.25 days. The guy was just a genius. By his own hand and by every other account that I've read, listened to, all that stuff. Why not learn from genius? It's just as simple as that. John Lennon. Why not? There's a few reasons for this one. One, to thank him for something that I can truly dig with midlife crisis. I only identify as having midlife crisis because if you know me and you know me well, I'm a metalhead. I haven't listened to metal in months. Absolute months. I've been educating myself on Lennon's solo work. I was a fan of the Beatles before I was a fan of their solo work, so having said all that. Two, to ask him one simple question. If the roles were reversed, and it was Paul and not John, how would he have paid a tribute to him? I don't know how up to everything they keep up with in the afterlife, so I don't know if Lennon heard a song like Here Today. If you haven't heard a song like Here Today, check it out here. It's on the Tug of War album, but you can also find it on the Tube. Because I'm not going to lie, it is a very sensitive and very sentimental song. I mean, first few times I heard it, I'm not going to lie, I almost cried. But just to see if the shoe was on the other foot, what his reaction would have been, or how he would have paid the tribute. But either way, that would have been a fun one to meet. Finally, last but definitely not least, Doc Holliday. First thing I tell him, one, you got an awesome song written after you by this band called Volbeat. If you haven't checked it out, check it out here. And two, to solve one of life's greatest mysteries. Did he or did he not shoot Johnny Ringo? Because as is, history can't prove one way or the other. If it was Doc that shot him, if it was Wyatt that shot him, or if Johnny just shot himself. No witnesses, no one was there, so how can you tell, right? So if you can time travel back far enough, why not? But either way, Doc would be a fun one to meet. and to learn cards from. Guy with his streak, he's definitely got a trick up his, or two up his sleeve, and to figure them out would be amazing, because you go to bank with that. So that's another episode of Trev TV. I want to thank you for tuning in. I really hope you found this interesting. I was inspired by the idea, and when I'm inspired, it has to get done, right? But I really hope you found this one interesting, because I really enjoyed making it. I mean, it wasn't easy to think up 5 off the top of my head. Actually, I got stuck after 3. Kurt, Lenin, and Caesar. I really had to put my mind on it for the last 2, and, well, glad I did. But either way, if you've made it this far, and don't think I don't appreciate the gesture if you have, if you've made it this far, give me a thumbs up. That would go a long way, and it'd be greatly appreciated. If you want that red button that says subscribe all over it, hit that thing. Stay up to date with all the content I'm putting out. And subscribing makes you feel good. We're 15 away from 100. Let's catch up to the hockey show. Let's get to that 100. Socials in the description down below. Moving forward, there are a few things I have in mind for the main channel. Mostly more album reviews. I want to get back to the Spartacus review, because if you haven't seen the numbers for that, let me show you quickly how far that's jumped. It's come a long way since the beginning of the year. So knowing that that's still working and that's still getting good numbers, of course I want to get back to it. But it's all a matter of due time, right? But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, you're looking for videos from Trev. Later.